Hi, it's Dr. Mindy, dietitian. Today I want to talk about protein during perimenopause. You see, perimenopause is caused by a decline in certain hormones like estrogen and testosterone. So it's more challenging for us to build muscle and stimulate muscle protein synthesis. And we have to have enough protein in our diet to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. And a lot of women during their 40s and 50s are just not getting enough protein. And in fact, the guidelines, the DRI's dietary reference intakes, are based on mostly male data, and they're like 50 years old. So we've done so much research on protein in the last 50 years. So it's time to update the guidelines. So if you're still going by that 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, you need to probably just X that out of your mind. We need more protein during perimenopause. But first, let's kind of break down what is protein. So protein is found in animal products and plant products. Protein is comprised of these building blocks known as amino acids. So in fact, we have 20 amino acids total, but we must get 9 of those amino acids from our diet. The other 11 we can actually make in our body from other compounds. The essential amino acids are those 9 amino acids that we must ingest each day. Animal proteins contain all 9 amino acids that are essential. Some examples of animal-based proteins include beef, pork, chicken, turkey, fish, dairy like milk, yogurt, cottage cheese, and eggs. Those contain all 9 essential amino acids, so therefore that's a great way to get your protein in. And because it contains all 9 essential amino acids, it's going to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Plants, on the other hand, may have 1 or more amino acid that's essential that's lacking. So for example, if you look at some grains, they may be lacking in the amino acid lysine. However, if you consume beans alongside the rice, well, beans contain lysine in adequate amounts that we need and we require. So by eating rice and beans, and it doesn't have to be in the same meal, you just want to get the rice and the beans within your eating window for the day. So rice and beans complement each other, so that those 2 food groups are going to make a protein source that comprises of all 9 essential amino acids. One other thing about proteins is those proteins in plants can be a little bit harder to digest. So you may actually need a little bit higher amounts of protein if you're consuming a plant-based, vegetarian, or vegan diet. Now let's talk about how much protein we need during perimenopause. We need about 30 grams per meal and snack every day, anywhere between 25 to 35. So I'm just going to use the number 30. So 30 grams of protein. Ideally, you need high quality protein every meal and snack. So that could mean if you're eating breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner, that could mean upwards of 120 grams of protein per day. And you can get them from animal-based sources or plant-based sources. The 30 grams is kind of the ballpark number needed to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. So we've got to ingest all 9 essential amino acids, and B, we have to get adequate amounts of protein per meal or snack throughout the day. And C, we have to meet our overall needs. So what I mean overall needs, let's go back to the DRI, which is set at 0.8 grams per kilogram per day. Actually, too low. What we need is 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, That means you need 80 grams of protein, mostly minimum 80 grams of protein. So A, you've got to get all 9 essential amino acids. B, you've got to get enough protein in at each meal and snack. And C, you've got to meet your overall daily protein needs of 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. And of course, you need a stimulus, right? So it always helps to resistance train. You also need to do some cardiovascular exercise. All of those are going to help maintain strength and flexibility and help with healthy bones and even skin. So there's so many things that protein does. It also helps regulate appetite because it slows down digestion. And by slowing down digestion, that can make you feel fuller. So protein is having a moment, and rightfully so. I think it has not been talked about in many years, and finally it's coming to the forefront. We have some great researchers who now are saying, hey, the DRIs are not right. We need way more protein. But during perimenopause, those needs kind of even escalate. Essential amino acids, you can get them from animal proteins or plant proteins. You also need about 30 grams of protein per meal and snack. And you want to make sure you get your overall needs met at 0.8 grams per pound of body weight each day. All right, I hope this helps. Please follow me, Dr. Mindy, Dietitian, as I continue to talk about perimenopause nutrition and even supplements that I take and I recommend. And so please follow me for more information.